DR fam, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody had a great Thursday. Getting ready for the weekend. Let's do a little bit of DR recap here tonight. Like we've been doing last few days, let's start out with our higher time frame. And it looks like our thoughts are playing out, or at least our ideas are playing out. Uh, this big red candle is today. Um, This is Asians. We're not going to talk about that one yet. But let's look at that big red candle and see what it did. If you guys remember, our thoughts were that we would go up and then come down into this fair value gap. Now, I did think we would get up here to the weekly, which is almost kind of like a consequent encroachment of the of that weekly, that middle of the weekly. But it looks like we got to the middle of the daily, right, pretty close to the middle of the daily, and then that's what we use to turn it around. And so, if you notice what happened today, we started and we went up, and then we came down, and look what we went down into that other daily fair value gap, right? So gap to gap. That's how you can kind of figure out what the market's doing sometimes. All right. So now what's next? Well, a couple things could happen. Like I said, well, tonight we're down here almost to the middle of that gap, so we could actually turn this around again. Okay, or we could come down a little further, or we could actually go into the other fair value gap, and they're stacked, right? So there's like three bullish fair value gaps on top of each other right here. So um, yeah, you can see those three. So I don't think we'll come all the way down here. I don't think we'll come all the way down here, but I think we will at some point, turn back around. And so, it's one of those things where until we break one of these gaps, we might be stuck in this for a little while. All right. We might be playing what I call fair value gap ping pong, where you just go from gap to gap, back to the other gap, that kind of thing. So, maybe not, but that's what we've seen for the most part. A lot of times you have bullish and bearish fair value gaps that are kind of fighting each other. You get that ping pong type of motion. So we'll see. We'll play it out together and see what happens. But now, again, so the whole purpose of me doing this is to kind of give you guys an idea where my thoughts are, right? So my thoughts are, I'm looking at this gap. I'm looking for price to actually, basically, I'm looking for price to do this at some point. Okay, so I don't know when, but it's going to do that at some point. And that's when you kind of change your bias from bearish to bullish. My bias has been bearish this week because of being up in this bearish fair value gap. My expectation was price was going to go down. So that's how I start thinking about the market. All right, so hopefully that helps. Let's drop down to our normal operating time frame, which is a 5 minute, and let's see what we had today. Today was it was interesting. I was a little pleased with myself today because of a trade I didn't take. All right, so as weird as that sounds, um, and okay, so let's talk a couple things. So notice some things here. One is what our setup was. We kind of had basically a down move on the setup, but today is Thursday, and I kid you not, guys, I literally have a alert on my phone that goes off every Thursday at 10:25, and the message is 10:30 reversal, right? And if you look what happened at 10:30, we're coming down this way, and we just reversed out of it. Okay, so go back and look at Thursdays around 10:30. Not saying it doesn't happen any other day, but look around 10:30 on Thursdays and see what your percentage is of when price just turns around or reverses on that. Okay, so that was the first thing that notice. Now, what that meant for us is that we actually confirmed low. Okay, and then we started reversing off of it. Um, Now, once we reversed, notice here again we had the same setup we had yesterday, which is the issue of kind of that doing that consolidation move. I did not take this trade because it's Thursday and it's reversal Thursday. So my expectation was that we would actually do this. Okay. Now I could have been very wrong, right? We could have had this retracement or any of these retracements and actually come back down this way, and I would have lived with that. I said I'm going to wait and be patient today, right? So, but that's not the trade I didn't take. The trade I didn't take was up here, this area, all right? And why did not I not take that trade? Okay, because if you notice, price came back up. Price came up to the point 0.5 fib. Okay, which is again is a nice place for us to take a trade, and our trade expectation will be that price will be coming this way, right? Once we get to the point 0.5 fib, because we confirmed low. Now, if you notice, and I wish my indicator stayed on here, but it doesn't once it's closed out. But if you notice here, and that's a bad drawing, but this is a bullish fair value gap, right? We'll call it a plus fair value gap. Okay, bullish fair value gap, and we know by now bullish fair value gaps mean price wants to go higher. Okay, all right, you can see it right there, right? That candle from this candle to that other candle here. Now, problem is that is literally right in the middle, or that 0.5 fib is right in the middle of that bullish fair value gap. Okay, and so you have a choice. You can say, oh, you know what, I'm going to trust the 0.5 fib for price to come down, or I'm going to realize that, you know, we're in a bullish fair value gap and price wants to go up. So which one do you do? Sorry, so it's a trade I did not take. So I did not take this trade because my nature would be to take a bearish trade because of where we confirmed. But using ICT and understanding how fair value gaps work, I didn't take the trade because I know that price wants to go up. And so we kind of piddled around here for a minute, and then price shoots up this way. Okay. Now, the fair value gap is still open here. Okay. Until it closes out, it's still valid for me, right? So price comes up and price starts to come back down. Remember that fair value gap, that 0.5 fib is right here. So now at this point, I'm taking out this fair value gap, okay? Because I'm going to close below it, all right? Now, also notice, though, what happens next, all right? So I'm still in it, and I have now I now have a bearish fair value gap that formed, okay? I'm on get rid of some of that, so it'll be so hard to look at, all right? So down here, I am now out of this fair value gap. I should draw it all the way over, but I can't draw a line that far because you see we closed below. Now I'm looking for what am I looking for now? Okay, I'm looking for price to go back up into this bearish fair value gap and then come back down. Now, lo and behold, that bearish fair value gap is right now. It's right above that 0.5 fib. Okay, my bullish one over here was below it. Okay, which means price wants to go up, which is against what I'm looking for. On this side, though, this bearish fair value gap is above 0.5 fib, means price wants to go down, which is also where I'm expecting price to go because of my confirmation. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so what happens? All right, so we go above. We go back up into the fair value gap. Now I put my order on the 0.5 fib because it's right below the bottom of the fair value gap. If that 0.5 fib wasn't there, I'd have put my order on the bottom of the fair value gap. But because the 0.5 fib is there, that's where my order is. Basically 4,400, which is a nice round number as well. A little bit higher than that, but you get the idea. And then boom, bottom drops out. Okay. I can't remember. Somebody told me something happened, something with the bond market or something like that. Okay. That's quite possible, but I wasn't looking at news. I was working at home today, but I knew what my setup was, and that's what I took. Okay. So that's the trade. That was the trade of the day, basically. Boom, and we're done. Right. But I wasn't. I wasn't done there. But that's the trade. That was a great trade. That's 20 points. All right. And the first drop was easy, 17, 13, 14 points on that first drop. And so anyway, so this one was 5 point, 10 point, 15 point, let it come down to 20 and life is good. Okay. So I should have been done with that trade, or should have been done for the day. But when that drop happened, it formed this thing here, which is this massive bearish fair value gap. Okay, love my fair value gap. Sorry guys, I love my DR, but I also love my fair value gaps, and they're a great confluence for me when I see things happening. Okay, so what happens next? I'm out of the trade. Price actually automatically starts to come back up, goes back up, it goes above DR low, actually goes above IDR into the bearish fair value gap. All right, where's my order at? Okay, give you 5 seconds. All right, long enough. Okay, order is right here. Order is right here on IDR low. Okay, for price to come back down this way. All right, so now not only do I have this move up, which puts me above IDR, I also have this confluence of this really nice bearish fair value gap. Now, worst thing that would happen is price comes back up a little bit and then starts to come back down. But I wholeheartedly understand that price is going to come down, right? It's going to move down at some point. Okay. So in this case, I might even be a little more flexible with my stop loss, not intentionally, but if I see price start to move, I may give myself a little bit more space up there, because really this is really it's about a 10 point from here to where the top of that is about 10 points. Okay, so I'm ready plus 20 right here. So I don't want to lose 10 points, but I could have given myself that much grace if I really needed to. But luckily did not have to do that, because price goes up, gets picked up here on this red candle, comes down, moves back up again. And I'm like, maybe I should have taken my, let me draw this way. All right, so here's where my order is, get picked up there. All right, which was actually, that's 5 points right here if you really wanted to just take that. But I felt a little greedy, I'm not gonna lie, because of this nice move over here. I was like, well, maybe it's want to drop some more. And I knew that Powell was speaking at 2 o'clock. I know it was like a panel he was on, but anytime he speaks, the market tends to want to crash. And so, but I wasn't counting on that. So orders here, goes down, comes back up. Now I'm like, man, I should have taken that profit over there, but nope. Let me let it play itself out, and then boom, we come down, and we come down back outside of that huge weekly bearish fair value gap. I'm talking a lot about fair value gaps today, even though this is a DR video, but these are what helps you to actually make smarter trades, right? And so, what's the expectation, and what happens next is you can see. This one came down, and this one was at 90. And if you, I'm not going to, I got another 20 points off of this one. I'll just say it. All right. So you guys could count on your own and figure that out. But again, we come down to about 70 and we get out of that trade. Okay. And that's about 2 o'clock. So Powell speaking. I could actually jump back in here. There's other opportunities from a fair value gap standpoint, but from a DR standpoint, we were done for the day with those trades. Could I have held that? Sure, you could have held that and taken it all the way down, but again, I try not to be super greedy on a lot of these things. But yeah, so patient day, a thinking day, right? Not just jumping in because the setup was there, but getting in when I had confluence of some other strategy that I know also works. All right, so again, all in all, just a thinking day in the morning, and then just execution in the afternoon, and just adjusting your risk profile as needed. All right. Anyway, long enough video. Sorry for that. I thought this would be a quick one, but there are a lot of interesting nuggets in here today. All right. And yeah, you guys know what to do with the comments. If you have any, just feel free. I really appreciate some of the comments I'm seeing. Some really thoughtful analysis being done by some of our fam. So glad to see that. You guys keep it up, man. I learn from you guys just as much as you learn from me, I'm sure. So anyway, you know what we say, love on your loved ones, because you never know when you'll be able to do it again. So take advantage of each and every opportunity. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you on the next one.